Welcome back to Turning the Page. I'm host Donnie Morris, and we have with us Brad Bertelsen and his book, The Promised Land of Recovery. Brad, we were talking a little bit about Millennial Press. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with them and how it came to be.
I had known, I ran into Randy Bott and Ryan Bott. I knew them a little bit from my work at the bank. I work at a bank, local bank, and so I knew them. I didn't know they're affiliated or any way connected with the publishing business, but it was interesting that when I started writing this, all of a sudden there were about 8 different publishers that just stumbled across my path. Some of them through work and just different ways. People just say, hey, I just know this person that is in the publishing business, and all of a sudden I had about 8 referrals. And basically when I finished writing the book, it was just a matter of contemplation and prayer, and basically, you know, to get an answer to, you know, who I should go with for that, and I chose Millennial Press.
Now, your journey was one of spiritual awakening, and if I'm not mistaken, the first step in AA is about God. Is that always the case? Is this about God? I mean, are there no agnostic or atheist groups?
Yeah. They've actually tried in some places like California. They've actually tried some agnostic and atheist groups and to take God out of the 12 steps. But it's pretty hard to get her into 12-step recovery. You just can't get around God. The whole thing is based on a relationship with God. The concept, the first 12 steps were designed for alcohol. The word alcohol or alcoholics only mentioned in the first and the 12th step, and the others have to do with the relationship with God and with other people.
So it's a roadmap to hope.
Yes, it is. Matter of fact, step 2 in the original AA says, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So that's where it begins.
Now, you've had some profound experiences. Do you talk about those in The Promised Land to Recovery?
Yes, I do. The book's not autobiographical, but I do share some of the experiences I've had and hope that I can give someone else hope and faith to.
Can you share a little bit about
Yes,
one of those?
One time when I was 40 days sober.
Yeah, 40 days sober. Is that any kind of a key moment? Or
it wasn't. I was actually traveling out of town, and part of my travel, I used to travel a lot, and I think what I was trying to do is run away from myself, because at that point I basically hated myself. And so I was in Washington, D.C. on this trip that I'd signed up for while I was still drinking, and I checked into a hotel room in Washington, D.C., and I was all alone, and I went over to the dresser drawer looking for a phone book so I could call Alcoholics Anonymous.
They're in the phone book?
Yeah, they are in the phone book. The central office everywhere, and so I went to look for a phone book, and I pulled open the dresser drawer. Instead, I found about 50 full mini bottles. It was an in-room bar, and all of a sudden, I just had this horrible compulsion come over me. My heart started to race. I started to sweat. I got myself out of that room and got to a payphone, found an AA meeting. When I returned that night, I knew I had to stay in that room with all that alcohol around me.
Let me cut in there. Let's stop right there. That is a key moment. 40 days sober, you've got this huge compulsion. I can just imagine you were probably sweating and just absolutely, the hunger was just eating you up. And you survived or you didn't survive. People really need to pick up the book to figure out and see. It really is a miraculous answer to what happened to you here.
Yes, it was.
And so people need to understand. People who don't have any idea about compulsion, they just can't understand what you were going through there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So here in our community, we have this overwhelming amount of shame attached to addiction. Have you seen that in your life?
Yeah, and it's sad. And when we come into recovery, you know, we feel pretty beaten up. You know, we know that we know that we've had all kinds of problems. We're the black sheep of everything. We're the black sheep of our families, of wherever we go to church or whatever we do. You know, and we feel like we're being singled out. But yes, there is a lot of that, but the thing you have to realize is that it has no race, no religion. I mean, the concept of addiction just is across the board. Everyone's affected by it. So.
Economic status, it
right,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether rich or poor, black or white. It doesn't care, you know.
And so anybody, no matter where they're at in their life, no matter who they are, they can take something like this and use it for their scripture study. That's what my family is going to do. We're going to take your book and use it this fall in our family scripture study so that I can help my kids understand that no matter what religion you believe in, is about being happy. That's what its whole purpose is for us. Is that, would you?
Yes, I would agree 100% with that, because these 12 principles are about, really, when it comes down to it, it's about faith, hope, and discipleship, and it's about our relationship with God. And so these principles will help us in any aspect of our lives.
September 11th from 11 to 3, Brad will be here in the store at Confetti Antiques and Books, 273 North Main, to do a book signing and to talk to the people, the public, about his experiences and about his book. We want to invite the public to come down, Confetti Antiques and Books, 273 North Main, September 11th from 11 to 3. That's a Saturday. Make space now in your calendar so you can come visit with Brad. Brad, right now I know out there in the public there are addicts watching. There are people who are watching this program who are saying, yeah, I probably could use that. Brad, how many out of 10 do you think will actually come down and take an opportunity to meet you?
Well, it's hard to say, you know. It might just be 1 or 2, but you know, if it takes what it takes. But the thing about drug addiction and alcoholism and any kind of addiction, it's like going down on an elevator and you can get off on any floor. And the question you have to ask yourself is, where am I going to get off? Am I going to wait till I've lost everything, or am I going to embrace recovery now?
Thanks again, Brad. We appreciate you being here. This is Turning the Page. I'm Donnie Morris of Confetti Antiques and Books, and thanks for being here. Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you.